All right, we're here at the new home for the Krypton Camaro, and again, it's looking killer. Definitely a sad day. Let's walk inside the garage here real quick, and here's what we're trading it for. A 1967 Chevy C10. It's got an LS in it. You might recognize this truck. We did pick up some Texas Speed parts for it, and we've been kind of waiting to install the stuff. We also did this car. This is a 2006 Z06. We did fix the heads, had them sent off to Texas Speed and fixed and CNC ported, and a B3 cam, and had RPM dyno it. So we did a bunch of stuff with this. It looks a little different. He did something different with the paint scheme. Took the stripes off and had it painted on this time. Black roof, a bunch of carbon fiber we installed on it. But today we're talking about the C10. So we are actually swapping out this truck for the Krypton Camaro. All right, guys, you got me. It's not a permanent thing. We are just working on this, and my limited space means that I need to, we are swapping it out. We're exchanging, we're trading the Camaro, this spot in this garage, for my spot in my garage. So we're trading truck for car, spot-wise. Ownership, no. We still have ownership of the Camaro. He still has ownership of his truck, but either way, we'll be without the Camaro for a little while, and we'll be doing a bunch of stuff to this. Like I said, we have some Texas Speed stuff to go on this cam. We're doing a different intake, coil relocation, valve covers, and then a bunch of suspension parts. We'll go over all that later. Let's go ahead and get this fired up. This is a beautiful truck. Been fully restored. It is a show truck. So go ahead and turn the key on here. Sounds good, but it definitely needs some cam rumble. This truck has a very unique sound to it. I'm not sure why yet. We need to get into that. Hopefully what we're doing is going to fix that, but the sucking sound from the intake when it's idling is tremendously loud. It sounds like a jet engine. So we need to address that. It sounds really kind of weird, to be honest. Let's go ahead ahead and get this thing backed out. We'll get the Camaro in its place, and we'll start heading back home in this. It does have power windows that are extremely fast. Do a real quick walk around here. You can see the two colors look actually killer together, the green and the orange. Again, a very nice truck. We are changing wheels too. We're putting bigger brakes on it, so these 15-inch wheels will not fit anymore when we're done. All right, guys, we got the Camaro safe and sound in this garage, and of course it's in good company with a Corvette, a Regal, Grand National, a 69 Camaro, and a bunch more cars in here. But like I said, it looks killer. Definitely like the bright colors. The orange on the truck, the green on the car, and the yellow on the Vet all look really good. It is funny to see the size difference. Like this Corvette is, it looks way like a foot shorter than the Camaro. The Camaro is not a big car, but compared to the Vet, and especially the roof line or the hood line, even the roof line is drastically lower. But that's a cool shot of the 6th gen and the 69 kind of stacked on top of each other. Goodbye for now, Camaro. All right, guys, back in the truck. We had to stop and get some fuel. We got our lap belt buckled here, and let's go ahead and we'll do a POV drive on the way home on this too. This guy decides what he wants to do. Good low end. The stall in it, we are putting a stall converter in this too, a Yank stall converter. It does have a 4L60E or 65, either one, but it definitely could use more stall, especially when we get the cam in. It actually drives and rides so far really nice. You always want to kind of go over, make sure everything, temperature's good, battery's charging, fuel gauge is working, oil pressure's good. It's got a vacuum gauge, everything's working kind of as should. So definitely a good idea to, before you get too serious into a build, to make sure what worked before and what didn't. Do notice it'll lug down a lot, which is not going to be good for the cam. So that with the stall converter and the tune will have to be fixed. But with the 4L60E, it goes into lockup and overdrive really fast, which is fine for just kind of putting around. But for like right there, we're under 1,000 RPM and we're 40 mile an hour. I think we're actually in overdrive. Yeah, there's third, there's overdrive. So I'm not sure what rear gear is in this, but it definitely goes into overdrive and lockup very fast. But trans feels strong, engine feels really strong. Like I said, it's got a lot of low end torque. Kind of a fun fact, my first car was actually a 1970 Chevy pickup. It was 4-wheel drive, long bed, and it was lifted, 4-speed, and that's what I drove for a daily driver for actually years. So especially like on the back road here, it just lugs down so much. I think I'm gonna drive in 3rd gear. I think it's gonna be a better driving experience. It won't lug down and drop down so fast, so quickly. Those back tires, I'll show you when we get back home how big those back tires are. They definitely make some squealing noises just normal driving, because it catches little tiny ruts. Not necessarily that you're on it trying to make it spin, it just does it by itself. Definitely way more responsive in 3rd gear. not loud. It's actually louder on idle than it is like on the gas. So I think we can definitely fix that with the stall and obviously the cam. But it definitely has good power. Like I said, it feels healthy for sure. It's downshifting by itself. Yeah. Steering is a little bit, I don't want to say tight, but we are putting a new box on it, but it doesn't have a ton of power assist, so. Just like there, we were about as light on the gas as we could be, and it still squeals when it goes over that bump. A lot of people wave to you in this. I don't know if they do in the Camaro and I don't realize it, but you get a lot more looks in this, it seems like, than a newer car. Got some pops out of the exhaust. Again, we are in third gear, but that's fine. We're not going fast at all. 36 mile an hour. Slow down around this curve. This guy gonna give me some room. Definitely gotta pay attention in driving really anything that's high visibility. Like this truck is an old truck, it's a nice old truck, but it's also bright orange. So people are gonna look, and unfortunately when they're coming the opposite way, a lot of times they will look at you and kind of come either over the line or close to the line, not even realizing what they're doing. It can definitely downshift faster. Like we'll get straightened out up here. We'll put it in an overdrive just so, say it lugs. We'll get straightened out, make sure there's nothing coming. We'll step down on it, and it only goes to third. That's wide open throttle, so definitely needs a little bit more tune as far as to downshift faster and take more advantage of the power the motor's making and the power it will be making with the cam. Overdrive at all, it just lugs down too much. I'm sure for the highway it's super nice, but we're not spending a ton of RPMs. I mean, if this tack is right, and it sounds about right, we're about 2,000 RPMs when we're on the gas, so not bad at all. Definitely got to turn the wheel a lot more than like a newer car. And again, the steering box we're putting on is a faster ratio, so that should be a lot better also. These are pretty windy, sharp roads, but you really have to turn that wheel a lot to get around the corner. Like this one coming up, you really, I mean, that's like a quarter turn of the wheel. Alright guys, let's get home and we'll go over this truck a little more. Alright guys, we made it home. Like I said, it's always a good idea to test drive it and see exactly what is what. We'll take our lap belt off. Gotta get used to that too. There's no retractor on this side either, so you gotta make sure it stays up inside the truck here. We're gonna go ahead and put it in the house garage for right now, and we'll get a game plan of when we want to start on this and what we want to do first. Alright guys, while it's sitting here in the sun, you check out that color. I think it's Tangelo Pearl, I think it's called. Excuse my shadow, but there we go. Beautiful truck. It's gonna look even better when we're done. Beautiful wood bed. The gas fill is actually in the bed here. If you know these trucks, it's normally right here on the cab. They smoothed that off. Again, the interior's all freshened up. Kind of a cream color. Does have the small back window, which is I think a 67 part of 68 thing. And at some point you could go either or, but this one definitely has the small back window. Speaking of the back tires, they are Hoosiers. They're 31 16.5 and they're massive. It's kind of more of the Pro Street. It does have a 4-link with a ladder bar in the back. It's got drum brakes. We're putting disc on the back, some Willwoods, 4-piston on the back, six piston on the front. We're doing a new steering box, a bunch of stuff. We'll go over it a little bit, but I just wanted to show you the truck before we go. Scout always has to have the attention.